Since starting the Fresh Out series, we've been getting tons of emails about prison life. So we decided to start this series to answer all those questions you have. Prison life can be a scary thing if you know what you're walking into. You can end up in a deadly situation or get fucked up. I'm Big Herc, and I served nearly a decade in federal prison. And I've seen and lived through some shitty times. And this is Prison Talk. Another one of our viewers emailed and wanted to know about money in prison. How does it work? How does buying things and selling things in prison work? Well, in prison, you have a commissary, and a commissary is where they have food that's provided by the prison, like Doritos, Top Ramen, tuna fish, soda pop, hair grease, shampoo, soap. All these like little things that you get at the local store, they have in a commissary in prison. And if you have a job or you got money on your books, you can go and buy stuff usually once a week. Ice creams, different things like that. Now, on the side, there's another commodity in prison that people use, and this is used for like gambling, buying drugs, betting on games and different things of this nature. And it's usually, in federal prison where I was at, it was stamps, books of stamps. You had some motherfuckers that had, 100 book of stamps, and that's like being, I guess, a thousandaire on the street. So you're actually selling stamps for a profit or at interest. And so, people are buying and selling stamps. And it's big money. There's people sending money to the streets, $500, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 to buy X amount of books of stamps so they can bet on the next Laker game or bet on the next Raider game. So, stamps is a big thing. And some other prisons, they use cans of tuna, but tuna, because it's so bulky and it's obvious that if you have, 100 cans of tuna, that, hey man, what the fuck you doing? Stamps are easier to hide. You can, people are, smuggle them easier. They're small and, they're easy to move around with. But stamps is like what you use if you want to buy food out the kitchen, because a lot of times you go to the chow hall, the meal is shit. Basically, there's nothing left. They done stripped all the meat out of it. And then you got motherfuckers on the side selling the meat that should have been given for free. So if you ain't got no stamps, then you can't buy that extra meat that's been prepared more professional than what your chow hall meal is, and it tastes a little bit better, you're hit. So I always kept me a couple books of stamps when I went to the kitchen so I could buy some shit out of the kitchen. I always kept me some stamps in the unit just in case I needed to like buy some commissary, because there's also a commissary inside the unit, which means like you got a guy who runs his own store. He'll buy a bunch of shit from the commissary and load up. And so what happens is he creates a credit system. So people who like spend all their money and then eat up all the shit in their sale, they come to this guy. So where a pack of Top Ramen would say 25 cents in the commissary ran by the prison, his price might be 50 cents. So people also get caught up because they get in debt to the store man, and you start owing the store man. And the store man, he's just like the motherfucking local, hood motherfucking extortioners, you know what I mean? But you choose to buy food from him, so he'll sell you cigarettes, he'll sell you food, he'll sell you liquor, whatever the case may be, but it's always with stamps. And so, you got that going on also, where people are buying and selling and got their own businesses going on. You got guys who are running gambling, gambling tables, which are making a lot of money. That's a big business in there, and dudes is betting books of stamps for that. Now, what happens is in gambling is that you're betting books of stamps, but this is actually equivalent to dollars. So just like gold is converted into value. So if you bet X amount of books of stamps, let's say $400 or $500 worth of stamps, and you lose, most likely you're going to have your people from the street send $400 or $500 to the person you lost to, or whatever car is running that particular gambling table. Because it ain't just one person you're going to most likely owe. It's usually somebody, and he's got a crew of dudes, and he got some goons. So if you don't pay, you're going to get your wig split. So you got that going on. And then on top of that, you got people who run, say, betting pools with like the sports booking, So you're betting books of stamps on that. There's always stamps floating around, whether it be cards on the yard, the games on TV, the store man, it's constant commerce. And, most likely you're going to be involved in to some degree because you're going to want to go buy something from the store man or maybe place a bet. But stamps is a commodity up in there, man. That's what people are using, and you don't walk around flossing a bunch of stamps, because I've seen motherfuckers get robbed for stamps too. I've seen motherfuckers run up in your cell and be like, man, let me get them stamps up off you. So, you know, it's the same shit on the street. You don't walk around flossing your money. Don't floss your stamps up in prison. But stamps is a commodity, and know that, you know, there is a lot of commerce going on. And hey, man, people are making a living up in there.